This is Dan Max at eXp Realty, aka the Trading Agent. This is your live market chat for Monday, January 29th, 2024. Hopefully you're having a wonderful day. I'm sorry I posted the wrong time initially at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard. I meant 2. Mistakes happen. Hopefully you're here now, or if you're listening, you're going to get a ton of great insights about what we expect, see, and should expect going into the rest of the week with the market. If you're new to the channel, check out the Discord room, link in the description below. It is free. All I ask is that if you post or you want to get involved, say hi, get involved. The people who don't say anything, they get booted pretty quickly. So I'll drop the link in the chat. Also, too, if you have any questions, use the Calendly link in the description. Always here to offer insights as they come along. Again, the market is a dynamic mechanism. I always tell this to people, dynamic. Do not get comfortable with anything. So, and when I say anything, just in general, the market is what it is. So if you have questions, thoughts, concerns, this is what the Discord room is for. Please ask questions. Are there stupid questions? Maybe if you ask it the same 17,000 times. But in general, no. If you're learning, that's mistakes. Don't have an ego. Don't get frustrated too if people give you honest feedback. All right, so what do we know this week? There is no cut coming. Nothing. However, we do know March is tenuous at best, in my opinion. I think, again, you see the Dallas Fed today was just a freaking another blow off, another negative 27. We talked about the New York manufacturing indexes, like they're just... When do the Feds navigate soft landings? It's not possible, in my opinion. Bitcoin, we talked about 20% pullback potentially. That's 20%. Now it's bouncing. Okay. Do I trust it? It's tough. China's about to go to war. Not war, but go do some things with Taiwan. Good luck with that. Either way, but we'll see. Oil over, huge short interest. Demand destruction. Nat gas. Now, nat gas gets interesting. Right, we'll talk about the KOLD. I like it down here. I don't think there's a ton of downside, in my opinion. So if you have questions, again, reach out. Follow on the Twitter. I was posting about this earlier. If you saw this, again, Sven, whatever Sven's last name is. Where is it? Dallas Manufacturing, minus 27.4. Put out some trades today also. TSM, financials, you love it. Check out the website, also tradingagent.com. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you're on the YouTubes. I really appreciate it, guys. I really, really appreciate it. Love, support, generous donations. Some of you guys, again, donations are not ever required. But, man, if you're making money, learning, your education is free. Remember, trading's not easy. Someone's selling you on certainty. They're selling you a bag of shit. Excuse my language. There's no certainty in trading. I'm sorry. Never has been, never will. All right, Taiwan Semi. We said, wow, this is the easiest short of the century, in my opinion. Going into earnings, obviously, we always say the second mouse gets the cheese. You got to be careful. It was acting pretty well when they started talking about what they were going to do, China specifically at the end of last year. Now it rallied up on earnings. Again, their earnings were pathetic. We talked about year-over-year lower growth. But the market's rallying on the AI stuff, which is kind of ironic because, again, you always need a narrative at the lows and the highs to get people to be scared or FOMO. It rallies up to this 0.75. My man Jay Solstice says, watch the 2-day range. He was dead on about it. Same thing. Now today, again, we know that Chinese, warships are surrounding Taiwan. Yeah, good luck. Good luck with that. Financials, put on the short again. Now again, remember, you have the FOMC coming up on Wednesday. You got a bunch of stuff going on this week. Layer in, know your spots. Define your risk. I like it up here a lot. I said, all right, well, watch the 2-day range. Look at it. You had a 2-day range. I went higher before, so it's possible. Try to get literally, I think I got the low of the day on the FAS within 2 or 3 cents of it. So pretty good, FAZ. Not too bad. We'll see. If it goes higher, I stop out. If it doesn't, great. It's just that simple. Keep it simple, stupid. Again, Evergrande goes out of business in China. One of the biggest property, was it commercial or was it? I can't remember. Property, what's the right word? My brain's a little frazzled. And that's not a property manager. It's one of the big property groups in China. Oh, man, if you're American Bank and you've got capital in China, good luck with that. You might as well, it's time to take that one as a full L. Right? Talked about AMD this morning. Posted that on Twitter. Watch it. Tesla's going to be buying their chips. Obviously, it popped this morning. Probably another upgrade if I had missed it. I mean, imagine. I feel like there's one every day now. Look what happened. Give it 3 to Bick. We'll see. Again, this whole straight line move we talk about. Straight line moves do what? Are at the end of of a move, right? When these things panic sell, straight line, straight line, straight line, straight line, straight line. Yeah, of course, AMD had a price upgrade. Thank you today. I thought so. Yeah, a few reiterations. I saw that too. I just don't even look at them anymore because they don't matter. We talked about how all the brokerages, and thanks for dropping that, like, you know, at the lows, they downgrade. Now at the highs, they got to play catch up, and it's the ultimate buddy pass. NVIDIA, it looks like, seems like, smells like, again, remember we have earnings. AMD, I think, has earnings tomorrow afternoon, which they do. Again, market could be all over the place. Keep an eye on this stuff. Intel had earnings. Not good, clearly. Making new lows today. As the market's trying to kind of hold around. Tesla. Talked about it being oversold near term. Not surprised it's bouncing a little bit, but also wouldn't be surprised if it gives it back up in time. You gap down, chop, then you could flop. Good old Meta, 400. Man, sometimes you're just wrong. It is what it is. Again, we got stopped out of this, but I'm kind of mind-boggled that people are loading this as Zuckerberg is literally unloading as fast as he can to build a bunker in Hawaii. What does he know? What does he know? I don't know, right? Microsoft, look at it. I mean, new highs. I mean, everyone's funneling into the last little bit. Now Apple's starting to crack. We know if there's issues in China or with China, Apple ain't going to get the benefit of the doubt. Sell. I mean, that's where their growth is. CRM, I was watching. I'm like, geez, this has been holding up pretty well. Guggenheim, it's same kind of thing. It's just back testing trend line, making higher highs. NDAQ, I was watching this. I'm like, man, this thing's going to get toast at some point. But chop top holding up with the market just is what it is. We know Micron, it's just an absolute turd. But hey, chop top holding up. Can't really say much about it. Amazonian, I thought this one would flop, but going into earnings, I mean, their earnings are Thursday with Apple after the close. I mean, after the close tomorrow, you got AMD, Google, Microsoft, Starbucks, and PC. Keep that in mind. Today you have Nucor after the close. So Netflix and chill, I mean, popped on its earnings. Yeah. Watching this area up here. Watch. Airbnb, another one on the radar. Watch today. Fills the gap. That's interesting. Costco holding up. Again, another China play. I mean, all their growth is China at this point. Starbucks, we talked about. This has been an absolute disaster. Chopping around. But going into earnings, I mean, it could have an oversold bounce. I mean, remember, CEO is going to try to overpromise or underpromise, overdeliver. I mean, to probably beat the earnings. Yeah, SMCI. Yeah, that's another one. FedEx, we talked about transports, not looking so hot. Chopping around. Caterpillar, man, earnings coming up on the 5th. This feels so obvious and easy to short up here. You need a catalyst to pull the market down before this comes coming down the mountain. Yeah, ag names, chopping around. Again, really like the banks up here. Love them. Is this going to be a lower high? Kind of head and shoulders. Talked about this on the weekend recap. Said maybe this is the left shoulder. Here's your dinky noggin. Here's your right shoulder for JP Mo. Morgan Stanley, man, I was watching that earlier. I'm like, okay, barely a pounce. Can't even fill the gap. 20-day. Interesting. Gold, I mean, have every reason to go nuts. Every reason. Ooh, excuse me. Nope. 2 sneezes. Usually I'm a 1 sneezer. Going nowhere. Silver, we talked about, again, all these names. We talked about there could be pops in them. A little oversold. Congrats if you traded them. they look kind of, I don't know, stuckness, right? Just be careful. Be careful, right? So, sorry, getting a text. We talked about MicroStrategy. Again, all these names. Just been talked about bouncing here. If Bitcoin bounces, cool. I'd watch the 20-day in the gap. Looks pretty good to me. Oh, KOLD. Da-da-da-da-da. Here you go. Now, again, if you want to take another sliver of this, I don't think there's much downside. Remember, this decays over time by taking a short. Just don't go crazy, because if it spikes up to 130, what would you do? If all of a sudden the market got hammered, natural gas just got one little right? I mean, usually don't really chart these, but it's interesting. I noticed that earlier. Just be careful. But remember, time is your friend on this. Like, zoom out. Right? Zoom out. Oh, it's going to go lower. It can get big spikes. We know this. But keep in mind where natural gas is. I mean, if you do the spike on this thing, you actually go, wow, this went from 10 up to 115, right? Or 14 or whatever. Looking like an opportunity. Man, sorry, I got to zoom. It's so hard. And you zoom out on this thing, it looks like a fart. It doesn't really look like anything. Oil, man, all over the place. Again, I'm surprised oil's down today. But I'm also not I think it's just going to be choppy, sloppy. TLT, we talked about watching this 93 level. Okay, back over the 8 and the 10 day. SPY, going in onto the FOMC. I mean, does it need to get to 500? That's what everyone keeps saying, but we'll see. We'll see. I mean, that's what we're saying. Again, pick and choose your name. Solar looks like crap. Not really going to say much about it. IWM, I will say I thought it was going to flop earlier and try to get back and hit this trend line. It got really close, but it's in a 5-day range. Look at this one, or actually 6-day range. Just keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on it. So, I mean, at this point, your guess is good as mine. Let's just get into it. If you have any questions, because again, I think it's one of those things. Remember the Monday and Tuesday. If you go watch Back to Basics, where is it? How to trade the days before the FOMC. Where is it? It's in here somewhere. It is somewhere. Did I miss it? Probably did. But there's a video about it. How to trade the days before the FOMC meeting. Come on, where are you? Here you go. Check it out. Pretty simple. I'm not going to run the video, obviously. There you go. Just be careful. I mean, could we melt down? I guess if China goes haywire, and if we don't, then could we chop around until the Fed say something? Again, global growth. I mean, I hate to be a broken record. Just be careful. Don't trust this up move. Feels like a big mofo trap. And again, if you traded the up, cool. That's awesome. Raise your stops. Taking out highs, okay. That is what it is. I mean, if you want to go and stay long, go right ahead. I'm not going to argue with up. I'm just saying I think the most risk reward is at down now. A lot of people are like, oh, you were wrong earlier. I'm like, guys, gals, I mean, just do yourself a favor. Being wrong is part of trading. Define your risk. I don't just sit here and short and stay short and hold on to shorts and lose. Like, again, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing, expecting different results. Watching housing, kind of curious, right? UPS, this is, FedEx has been good old Qualcomm. It's like, that looks very interesting. Does like the big shoot off, gets up to the reference point here. Nope, giving it right back. Brrr. Good old Nike, another global growth name, right? It's been bad. Coin, again, you got people. I mean, I don't know the best way to describe it. It's just like, if Bitcoin's going to do a little bouncy bounce, I mean, these names look like they could bounce. And again, I don't know if now's the time to chase them, but No, I'd say no, never chase them. But I mean, we did post these. We said, hey, check this out. Yeah, market kind of trying to rally back up to the end of the day, high of the day. I think it's going to be light volume and sloppy. I mean, look at the SPY volume today. I imagine it's probably low. Yeah, look at it. Very low volume. So, any thoughts, questions, concerns? Again, I apologize for messing up the timing. Womp womp. You know, this is just me doing my thing here. I make mistakes every once in a while. Sometimes I make mistakes. Not perfect by any means, but always trying to help. Thoughts, questions, concerns? If not, I'll just wrap this up and we'll call it the shortest live chat ever. And again, I know that's my boner. I guess can't say that word maybe. I don't know. My mistake for posting the wrong time frame. I really thought it was 10:30 earlier. Days moving faster than I thought. Getting away from me, I guess. Man, really like this XLF short. Bank's got all the exposure. Just glad you're not an AI bot. Am I not an AI bot? Just kind of playing with the weeklies here. So that's an old fib extension. So we got up to the 0.75. But look, I mean, like, look left, right? Man, am I getting COVID? Jesus. Sneezing. Hold on. Hoo-ah! Hoo-ah! Man, look at, like, the box here, right, of all the VAP. And just pull it left. You're into it, right? After coming up pretty quickly, too. Buena suerte. Is there no? Hold on. Hold on. This is why I love just playing with all time frames. It's like there's like a trend line here. Yeah. It looks like it. We just get it out of the way. Yeah. Let's blow this thing up. Oh, hello. Who we texting? No, fantasy football. Don't care. God, the Chiefs just bother me. Not because of Kelsey, but because they beat the Eagles last year. But it really feels like the NFL is just, when in doubt, give the Chiefs the benefit. Really hoping for the Ravens to do something. I like Lamar. Nope. Any questions, thoughts, concerns, beliefs? You want to say something? Great. Please chime in. We got a little bit of FLX. Should have done more, but then did the the XLF has been hard. Like it's just nature of the beast. I mean, I'm not all in by any means. I took my first stab today. I do believe, not in magic, right, that it could get up to this trend line. I do think it's possible. Man, you ever get tonsil stones? I started getting them the last year. I can tell, like, when I have one in the back of my throat. It disgusts me. Ugh. Is it possible? Yeah. I'm just, again, I mean, this is what we talk about layering in. It'd be no different than catching bottoms. And people are like, oh, I don't want to, you can't catch bottoms. And it's like, well, you can, but just try not to catch them with, like, all-in style, because then if you're wrong, it burns. Burns when you pee. I mean, it hurts when you poo. Ugh, just kidding. No, you know what I mean. It's not easy. You got to be careful. So, any questions, thoughts, concerns? Wow. Oh, that's interesting. What, did I miss something? AG, are you with me? I mean, silver's been holding up pretty well. Yeah. So, I don't know. I don't know. Near term. Can they continue to pump in endless liquidity? I mean, this is where the Feds have to be like very, I mean, I don't know. They're walking the tightrope, right? Keep pumping liquidity, inflation. Keep pumping, but they got to reduce their balance sheet. I mean, it's just, I don't see how they win here without losing control either way. My thought is after this week, we may pick a direction. Can't bring myself to do a whole lot with FOMC and earnings coming out this week. I agree, Eric. That's why I am tiptoeing back in the water slowly. Not going crazy. Because you do have earnings. You know, who knows what Microsoft and Google and AMD and Starbucks and Qualcomm. I mean, they got Amazon, Apple. I mean, this is a big week. A huge week. Obviously, earnings by nature is gonna, CEOs are gonna try to talk it positively. And obviously, I don't want to short those names. That's why the only shorts in the trades that I'm jumping are ETFs. I got KOLD, Soxis, and FAS stuff, like financials. Like I don't want to pick individual names. I lie. Sorry, I got Taiwan Semi. Why I keep forgetting about it. They've already had earnings. I already have one. One stock, Taiwan Semi. And the only reason why I did it is because I recognize the same thing that I think I said this on Friday. Jay Solstice. I was like, man, 2-day range. I'm like, well, what happens if it gets up towards the close? I was like, I'll take that. Anytime it gets near that 118, and it's pretty easy because then I can set my stop. I mean, about 120 is my stop. Not rocket science. So, and I apologize. I forgot to say that stop. Be like, yeah, it's the most obvious one to me. I continue to I guess it's the one that I feel the most confident about, but I also realize it could catch a bid with some of, say if AMD comes in strong or Qualcomm or one of these other names, SMCI, right? I wouldn't be surprised if it caught a bid. So again, it's another one that I'm short, but I'm not going nuts on. Or people are like, why don't you just go long? It's like, whoa. Why don't I go long? No. Long what? Again, you gotta process the market through your mind of risk reward. Right? Risk reward. Pulls back 10% to the 20-day real quick. I mean, fine. Take it. First dip maybe gets bought. Fine. Trade around it. Questions, concerns, thoughts? I think I was, again, I don't have it right in front of me right this second. Again, I was buying, if I bought puts on Taiwan Semi, I was buying March. I think I bought the March 118s, 120s. I can't remember, something like that. I don't have it right in front of me. Again, people are always like, what do you mean you don't? I'm like, no, I don't watch my trading balances in my accounts all day. That's just like, you want to talk about watching the roulette wheel spin? No. No. I do not do that. No, I don't keep it up. Whew. Yeah. Yep. I don't know what to say. Just kind of, again, I mean, you can try to create the news or the narratives that'll make the market move quicker now. But I mean, I don't know what the right answer is to tell people right now other than, I'd love to say, because again, a lot of people are going, I mean, I get a lot of comments from folks who follow me who are like, they don't care. They'll just say what they feel. And they're like, dude, the top is in, all in. And I'm like, want to, you remember, what was it? Billy Madison. He's like, want to touch the hiney. Yeah, want to short all in. I get it. Got to be careful, guys, gals, friends. So. Any names, questions, thoughts y'all want to review? I think SMCI again has earnings. I think it's been on fire, which is kind of crazy considering, like, look at this thing. Super Microcomputers. I mean, it's like the most generic, stupid name ever. Super Microcomputers Incorporated. Like, it never mind. But here it goes. You know, blow off top, choppy. I mean, this is the hardest thing about blow off tops, right? Like novice gaps. We talk about, like, it can go on. Yeah, the day of it pre-announced. Yeah. How it can, like, go on and then chop around to higher highs, but then it gets stuck. So you clearly have a reference. But I mean, I think we know that. Again, I've heard this. Again, I wish AP was around. I was hanging out with him in Florida, and he was talking about this. He was like, yeah, we saw a big chip demand from China and a big, push before what we think is going to be the ban on semis. And so, like, you had, like, this, not all semis, obviously. You saw this big pump real quickly in demand before the end of the year. And it was like, man, but that kind of makes sense. Where China's like, all right, before they ban this stuff, let's put in a ton of orders. Let's sell some chips or buy some chips, chocolate chips. They're about to bake into a war. They'd like to get inventory on. I don't know. Again, China doesn't really create much other than manufacturing of, like, they don't have any innovation, right? If you have intellectual property, do you really want them to manufacture that? No. If you want them to do generic stuff, fine, whatever. From what I've been told, there's a reason why chip manufacturing is not in China. Again, you want them to make Lincoln Logs? Go right ahead. But yeah, that's it. Yeah. Man, sorry, man. I wish I would have not messed up the timing on this. All right, I'll talk about this one because no one will pay attention. I like this insight in the 50s. I will never be able to buy it because of my wife working for the company. And as I've told you guys, she's not told me anything. She actually made me sign an NDA. I'm like, you haven't never disclosed anything with me. I'm like, well. She's like, well, I told you, what was public knowledge based on that ASH conference. I'm like, well, that's public information. I was like, stop it. But again, paranoid, which I get it. No problem. I like this in the 50s. Dig into Hawaii and look at the similarities to Cisco, and that's why don't let China's manufacture good chips. Yeah, of course. You don't want them not hacking, but you don't want, they'll plant some sort of tracking / what's the right word? Not tracking, but their technology will allow them some sort of back-end interface tracking. I don't know. Eric, I'm not a tech guy. I'm talking like trying to talk like I know what's up. Set your alarms. Yeah. Set your alarms on that one. I like Soxus. Again, we don't chart it, but I mean, if you see, look at the volume down here, y'all. Somebody. And then you had a reverse split or a dividend. Sorry, not. You see the 4s. This is a pretty big move in the SMH. And someone's like, you're crazy for sure. I'm like, are you? This thing basically did a double and change. A double and a half. Pretty quickly. You got the volume at the highs too. Oh, Soxus. I'm like, yeah, Soxus. Yeah, makes sense in the 4s. Yeah, it's tough to know for sure. Man, AG is getting cooked. VIX coming down. I mean, I don't know. It's just another day before. The CLA and the docs have the same typos. Yeah, I don't know. All right. Well, I'm going to wrap it up. 30 minutes. Pretty good. I mean, a day like today, again, I wanted to talk about it. There's not much to do. Know your levels. Be careful with earnings, especially, again, if you want to short particular names. Again, I'm short Taiwan Semi. I know for a fact that somehow if AMD says something, it could pop still. You just have to, I don't know what the best way to describe it is, other than just don't have like this arrogance of commitment to your beliefs. Meaning like, I like shorts, but I'm also sitting here not creating more pressure on myself by going all in, going, oh, it has to happen. The market's going to. No. We're tiptoeing in based on risk reward with the FAS and the Saxis and all that stuff. But at some point, I mean, Apple, I mean, we know their growth is not going to be good. We know I honestly know their earnings are going to be crap. How many times did people basically, I mean, ask yourself this question, right? How many did you guys watch? I mean, do you watch TV? He's like, do you watch TV? Did you notice like over the holidays that like Verizon, AT&T, all these like bring your move to AT&T and we'll give you 4 iPhones. Switch the whole family. I'm like, what? Like they can't be having any good margin. Right? So again, they don't have any growth, and now China's becoming an issue, flaring up. It's like hemorrhoids flaring up. I mean, what's the upside in China or Apple? They have cash, buying back their stock. Great. Well, they're not going to be going to the bond market to buy back stock anymore. Man, I got way too many lines. Gotta clean this up. We not agree? So just 10 cuidado. I'm going to wrap it up. I appreciate all the love, support. You guys are amazing. If you have any questions, again, please don't hesitate to reach out. I have the Calendly link in the description. Here, I'll drop it in the chat just one more time. One more time. If you'd like to. Yeah, I mean, again, I guess I could go on a real estate stand. I mean, it's all over the place. I'm seeing some low-end stuff getting bought quickly. I'm seeing a lot of people wanting to do creative finance if you have low interest rates. If you have a property, either it's paid off and you want to do seller financing, to me, that's the best way to go right now. If you have a property that's paid off, take the banks out of it. Take the real estate agents out of it. Maybe, again, I'll help you out. Take a little small fee for time and effort. But again, if you don't want to pay that 6%, you don't want to get wholesale beat up by wholesalers, seller finance. FSBO it and seller finance the shit out of it. All you need is a real estate attorney, and you say, these are the terms we're looking for. And you probably will get more, especially if you have the ability to better than what the banks would do, right? That's how I look at it. If I had a property right now, cash, if I paid it off, I would absolutely either rent it out or seller finance it. And if you don't want to deal with the rent, that's where seller financing becomes in. Say you had a property that's worth $500,000, but you can figure out payments for somebody that an investor, and even they can cash flow, and they'll go, well, the interest rate in the purchase price don't matter, because long term they want what they want. It's all about the payments, the cash flow. So you reverse engineer it and you go, well, I want $600,000 because I know the house is worth this in this future market. Okay. Well, what payment can you agree on? What interest rate can you agree on? And then maybe it makes sense, because maybe you get paid $2,500 for 30 years and you ask for $100,000 down payment. And then you ask for $100,000 in 5 years. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of ways to do this. And creative finance. Like maybe someone wants to take over your existing mortgage. Maybe you have a 2.5%, 3% mortgage. People are like, well, it's subject to, it should be illegal. It's like, no, if you know go into the terms and you know the buyer, you've done your due diligence, they're a good investor that knows how to, like, they're not going to just stop paying the mortgage. You have a bill. I mean, again, you can milk the shit out of real estate. The only ones winning right now in real estate are the banks, because everybody's dumping their low mortgage and interest rates, and everyone's refining or having to qualify at higher rates, and then put big amounts of cash down to get to like payments they can afford. It's just, and it's not a Biden, it's not a Trump thing. It's just that's what happens at these interest rates. But here's the thing: like if you're sitting on 2.5%, less than 3% interest rate, like it's like free money. Think of this as like a truck. Think about the amount of interest over time that you will pay, like a car. Remember you go car financing? Think about how much money you save in interest. So that's where it actually becomes a benefit to an investor or someone with intelligence that would be interested. Does this make sense? Like your mortgage at 2.5% is very valuable to somebody. And it doesn't, everyone's like, oh, you can't assume loans. And it's like, well, maybe there are certain restrictions, but that's where creative finance comes in. Don't get it twisted. Do not let someone tell you that, oh, well, it's not an assumable loan. Okay, well, that's where creative finance comes in, where you pass over maybe the title to that person, but the mortgage stays in your name. They make the payments to the bank in your name. Oh, but what if I want to buy a house and I still have this mortgage? Well, again, you show them that the payments are being made by a financial institution. Because again, like say if I paid your mortgage, I would go through a mortgage servicing company. So the bank would never know who's paying what to trigger the due on sale clause. Like there's so much misinformation out there. And the only people doing these great tactics in finance are the rich people. And it drives me crazy because the poor people are like, well, I can only do this, and this is all I know, and this is what my real estate agent said. Well, you know how many, I held an open house this weekend and talked to a few real estate. None of them know shit about creative finance. They don't want to do it because they're not going to get paid 6%. I do it for my clients. I don't give a shit. Like I want to do the right thing. I'll do it for 1%. Help you out because again, something's better than nothing. Like if you can't sell your house, there's no transaction. If you can't buy a house, there's no transaction. I'd rather take a much lower cut to get your future business or to help you out and do the right thing. It's not rocket science, but some of these fuckers want 6%. Well, I don't want to get involved in creative finance. The buyer doesn't want to pay the agent. Okay, well, guess what? You're going to penalize the people in the market. Sorry to rant this, but that's what happens. The buyer's stuck because they can't afford to buy a house. They need creative finance. Now maybe the seller's stuck and they can't get the numbers they want and they want to fucking retire. Excuse my language. Maybe they were like, I was banking on getting this amount for this house or getting this payment. And now it's all screwed up. And it's like, well, the broker's like, oh, sorry, we can't do that. You're going to have to wait for the market to heat up. Just like in anything, it's all about who you know and what you know. Again, even if I can't help you in your market directly by listing or buying, helping you buy a house, I can put you in touch with people that know how to do this stuff. Gladly. Again, I work on a referral basis. Well, again, then you get 2 agents for the price of 1. Folks that have used me have helped me. Again, there's a reason why I have all 5-star reviews and I don't pay for them. No, if you know me, you know I'm going to be there with you, walking hand in hand. If you have questions, that's what my job is when I get act as a referral. I might not be the person on the ground looking at the houses, but you're going to be able to like, hey, Dan, what do you think of this? If I don't know the answer, do you not think I have real estate attorneys? Do you not think I have people who are tied to the actual loan industry that, all right, everyone has different products. Everyone has different potentialities within creative finance. Well, maybe you do have a good mortgage and you just want to wrap it. You know what a wrap is? It's when someone doesn't go to the bank. They go to you and you sell or finance your own current mortgage to them. Oh, how can you do that? Well, it's no different than like a car. Say, for example, Dan has a truck with a 0% interest rate. I still have a balance of $25,000 on it, but my payments every month is $400. I can wrap a loan around it and let someone take over the payments. And I'll ask them for a couple grand down, and then I'll say, well, you'll have to pay me $600 a month at a 6% more interest rate. Okay, well, why would someone do that? Well, maybe they can't go to the bank. Maybe they have cash. Maybe they're a Hispanic, not cool, but a small mom and pop Hispanic, whatever, Mormon, I don't know what business. Again, people who don't show capital to the government for whatever reason because they're in cash businesses. Not everyone's a drug dealer. And they go, hey, you know what? But if I take your truck for $600 a month, I know I can generate $10,000 of income from my work. Absolutely. It's just I don't want to go to a bank and pay 13% interest. Oh, but I have 0% interest on my truck. I don't mind financing it to you. I'll go get a new truck. Give me the money for a down payment. Perfect. Oh, but why wouldn't they buy their own truck? Again, they might not be able to get traditional financing. The only people winning right now are the banks trying to lock in the higher interest rates. Notice the mortgage brokers going out of business. Higher interest rates only benefit who? People who have to refi into them, and the banks taking their origination costs. Right? I would say realtors, but again, realtors are falling off a cliff. It's hard. It is hard. All right, I'm going to wrap it up. Again, think about these questions that you might have. What's TSM going to do? I mean, it's going to go down lower in time, but you got to be careful with the earnings. We've talked about this one. I think ultimately it gets. There's a reason why Buffett sold it last year. There's a reason why Buffett knew. And again, we've seen this before where it blows out, then it fails. Again, I appreciate you guys. Again, real estate is, and this is why I started the trading agent. Like, you should not have all of your investments into trading. Take advantage of the tax advantages. Take advantage of taxes. I think it's going to play out in time going lower, Samuel. I don't know if it's going to be a straight line move, but it's going to at some point go lower. I think that's the easy trade. And if you look at the options on Taiwan Semi, I think if you buy out in time, I think it's an easy slam dunker. Okay, well, again, I got a lot to do. I appreciate you guys. Again, if you have questions, refer me. Let me help you out. If you don't trust somebody out in the market, which most people don't, be careful. And again, renting can be hard, Shannon. Again, California, even Colorado, some of these places, it's kind of stinky. And so that's where if you sell or finance, the person who bought the house is completely responsible for it. You're not. And if they fail, guess who forecloses on them? You become the bank. You might get the house back. So it's kind of like I'm running to them, except they give me a down payment and contract, so they have a reason to keep the house up. Exactly. They have a reason to keep the house up. Exactly. They have more on the docket. So, all right. We can talk about that another time. I appreciate you guys. I'll, see you guys later. Yep. Sounds good. Take care.